Alright, so I have this Nintendo Switch where the light just keeps blinking like this, and turns out that's because if we look at this switch, come on, focus, you see that? The pins in there, they're all bent up, so we're going to see if we can replace that. Alright, so this is going to be a first for me. I'm going to be opening up and disassembling this Nintendo Switch. I actually did a video kind of opening it up earlier, but we'll see if I upload that. I noticed what's wrong with it is the charge port. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if it's going to focus, but basically some of the charge port pins got bent. It stopped turning on, and then when you plug it in the dock, the light just keeps flashing. You'll see. But anyways, we're going to need a Y0, and then a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. The 4 corner screws are the Y0, so let's go ahead and start removing them. Alright, if this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. Alright, also you want to keep all the screws in order. The way I do that is, I put them flat side down on my desk in the pattern. I remove them like that to keep them in order. So we got those 4. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue removing these screws. Alright. If this video helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. And if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, even if it's just to say hi or something. Alright, so we got the 4 Y0 screws out. We're going to switch over to a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. And we're going to go ahead and remove the other screws. So there's one on the top here. Okay, if you've seen other videos, I'm actually going to show you, you don't have to remove as many screws as they did. So for the side rails, you actually only need to remove the middle one. So there's 5 screws on the side, but you only need to remove the middle one. We'll see if we need to remove the other ones to get the motherboard out, but in terms of getting the back cover off and stuff, we only need to remove the ones here. We might need to remove the other ones to pull the rails out completely, but we'll see. It depends whether that's necessary or not. Alright, so underneath the kickstand here, so lift that up, there's another screw. Make sure to get that one out. Okay, click that down, and then we got 2 more screws here. We're going to remove those as well. Okay, again, keep all the screws in order. They are different size, shape, and lengths. The one under the stand is much shorter than the ones on the outside. The ones that are on the bottom of the frame and the top. Alright, and then the ones on the side rails are also different, so keep that in mind. Alright, so now that we got all those screws out, let's see if we can pop this apart. We got the slot here. You want to make sure there's no game cartridge in there, so take that out. Okay. And let's see now, how are we going to lift this up? So, you can see if we kind of pull a little bit inside where this game cartridge is, it forms a gap. We can kind of start there. We can work our way around, and you can see it's kind of popping out here as well. Okay, we're going to continue working our way around. You can see here. Alright, and now we're going to get over here. The fan area has some clips there. I do need to slide my fingernails in there to kind of pop it out. You can use plastic pry tools, obviously. And then last time this side, when I was taking it out, got stuck really good, and then I think the clip broke, so it actually came out a lot easier. But keep that in mind, if you're taking it out, it's going to get stuck here, and then you're probably going to end up breaking that clip off. I don't know how you would get it out without breaking it. I don't see anything inside that would help with it. You probably have to like slide it upwards if you can, but yeah, I was kind of like prying on it and it wouldn't come out, and then it ended up just snapping that clip. Anyways, we got some screws in here. We're going to use the PH0 still. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove those. There's quite a few. Again, keep track of them, put them flat side down in the pattern remove so you can make sure to get them back in. All right, we don't need to remove the 2 up here. We're going to go over to this corner, at least not right now. We're going to leave that in there. I'm just going to show you inside if you were to replace the battery. I'm not going to be replacing the battery on this unless it's bad, but we'll get to the point where pretty much you get to the battery, and then after that The only other thing to do is use some isopropyl alcohol or something to remove the rest. All right, there's another screw down here. All right, and then we got one screw in the middle here. Okay, and we got 2 screws down here, so. Okay, so it looks like it's mirrored on the other side. The only difference is the other side has that SD card slot. Okay, the micro SD card slot. Okay, so now we got all those out. We do need to pop this connector out. So this has a little foam. You kind of need to pull it away. And then I kind of get my fingernail in there. Again, you can use plastic pry tools, but you basically get in there and you gotta pop that up. All right, once you pop that out, you can see this is kind of moving around. And we can go ahead and get this out. Right, there we go. And the foam kind of helps keep some pressure on it to keep that connected if it's like dropped or something, I think. But yeah, all right, so we got all of that out. Also, because I opened this before, I moved all the thermal paste into the middle. We'll see if it got pushed back out or something. But anyways, we gotta lift this metal plate up. Be careful not to apply too much force. You're just gonna slowly kind of pull on it. Don't push on the fan, you don't want to damage that. Okay, hopefully I didn't forget any screws here. We're just slowly pulling, and there we go. Okay, so yep, there you can see the thermal paste. If you want, you can kind of like pile it all up back in the center, and then it will eventually just smush on there and then glue back out. Okay, all right, so I had it all like in the center like this, and it kind of spread out on its own, and that was without any heat or anything to power it back up. I don't know if you need special thermal paste for this because the paste they have here is pretty thick. So if you do lose this paste or it gets all dirty or something, you probably need a new thermal paste, but I'm not too sure what you would apply. I don't know if, again, I've never seen this kind of pinkish red thermal paste before, so it's kind of interesting. You might have to look for another paste. One thing though is this paste is to bring the heat out to this metal plate, which I wouldn't think pulls away a crazy amount of heat, but it does help a little bit. Most of the paste is actually underneath this piece here and goes out over this way, and I don't know if we're gonna have to pull that out to get the board out, which we might. So we might actually need to put some new thermal paste underneath. Anyways, if you needed a close-up, this is what the bottom looks like. Okay, and yeah, looks like this helps transfer heat as well. Okay, here's the battery. So the battery has its own, I'm guessing that's the model number, HAC003-003. All right, to remove that, you would get underneath this little piece here, and you'd have to pry up close to the connector, but not the black part, just the white part and the cabling. So you just pull up underneath there, you can see it's lifting up. And then I like to get in there with my fingernail and kind of help pull it. Obviously, you can use the plastic pry tool if you want. Okay, so let's see. This board is going to be a little tricky to remove, isn't it? So there's a lot of pieces we got to remove. Let's go ahead and remove the screws holding this little piece first that holds the headphone jack in place. Okay, 2 screws. It might be a lot of screws to keep track of, so yeah, hopefully you guys can remember. Got those 2, and then this plastic thing just comes up. You can take that out and set that aside. All right, we have this little board that's on top. It looks like the heatsink is going to have to be removed because there's a connector that goes underneath here, which is going to suck because they put this thin foam here that's held in with some adhesive onto the fan. I don't think if we remove these 2 screws, the fan is going to come out, but let's go ahead and try. Okay, so we've got those 2 screws holding the fan here. Let's see, can it lift? Oh, actually, okay, it does lift. So if we take these 3 screws out, we'll be able to lift the whole heatsink out, which again, I'm pretty sure we need to remove because this stuff is on top. So let's go ahead and remove that, and we're gonna have to redo thermal paste for this. kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right. All right, I'm gonna probably have to zoom out so you guys can see a little better. Okay, so now we got all the heatsink screws. We're gonna lift from here. You want to be careful. It is a little spring loaded. Okay. Oh, it's a little tricky. I don't want to bend the heat pipe here. So if you're gonna pull from here, you want to be very careful. Don't apply too much force. You don't want to bend this. And it's stuck pretty strong. So let's see. Can we lift from here? Usually, what you can do is you can kind of push on the side of it, and it'll rotate it a little bit, and that will loosen up the thermal paste underneath. But let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here we got that. The fan is peeling or coming up. Let's see, where is it connected here? Okay, it's connected with the ribbon cable there. So it looks like we're gonna have to separate the heatsink from the fan to get that cable out. So I'm slowly, very slowly pulling up while holding the fan down, just to try and get the adhesive to peel away from this. Okay. And we might have to use a little tool to get in there and help push it. So I'm going to get underneath and help push the adhesive up, or let's see if I can slowly kind of twist it to slowly peel that adhesive away. Looks like it's working. Come on, let go. Almost. There we go. Okay, so we got that bit of adhesive out. Then we also have this part as well. It doesn't look like it's going to be easy to remove that adhesive. Let's see here. I'm going to lift up slightly, and we're going to kind of work our way down the side. I'm kind of just wiggling this to kind of help peel the adhesive. Most likely it's going to tear, but let's see. Okay, I don't know here. Let's see. Let's lift this more, and let's see if we can kind of pull this. Okay, there we go. We got that completely off. You can see a little bit of the adhesive tore, but it should be okay. We are going to redo the thermal paste here, and actually the CPU seems to be underneath this box, so it's interesting. They have 3 layers of thermal paste. Okay, I'm going to scrape off this paste here, and it's going to be, how are you going to know where to put, okay, I see they put a copper shim on top. Okay, so scrape that off. We're gonna scrape away the paste here as well, and then we're gonna have to use some paper towel to clean it off the rest of the way. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna get some paper towel and a little isopropyl alcohol to clean that up. Might actually have a customer outside, so a second. All right, we're gonna put a little isopropyl alcohol on the paper towel here, and then we're gonna clean this off. Okay, just like that. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna clean this off as well. And this paste, you need to put new paste. The stuff that's coming out is actually just the paste. All right. So it's not anything to worry about. That's what we gotta do. Okay. Fold this over, put a little more isopropyl alcohol on this, clean that up. Alright, so there we go. We're gonna set the heatsink aside. Okay. Let's see here. So here you can see the connector I was talking about. I'm gonna zoom in here a bit so you guys can see better. I don't think we have to remove this connector. It's also on top of a little metal box, but we're gonna leave that. This looks to be storage, so I think that's probably like internal memory. But yeah, we can go ahead and get underneath here with the little plastic tool. I'm gonna use my fingernail and we're gonna flip that up. Okay, has those little snap-in connectors. Okay, just like that. We have this connector, which has a flip latch. You're gonna flip this latch. Okay, oh, it's hard to see because of the color, but you can see now that latch is up. All right, and get the paste stuff off my fingernail. Okay, what else? Let's go ahead and undo the screw here on the bottom. It's gonna be hard to keep track of all these screws. There's a lot. Okay, so we'll get this screw out down here. And set that there and see if we can lift this up. Yep. Okay, now we can lift this up, and you want to carefully get this connector out just like that. Here you can see the little flip latch mechanism better. So when it's closed, basically you slide your finger over and now it's latched, and then when it's open, it's up like that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Okay, you have this latch here as well for this connector, so we'll flip that latch up, and it's easier to see that one. Alright, you got wireless antennas here, we got the fan connector here. So the fan, the latch is on the other side, so it goes in front of the cable. So we're gonna flip, wait, is that right? Yeah. So we're gonna flip this latch up, alright, and oh, there's one more screw hidden under here. So good thing we didn't just yank it out. Okay, and now we should be able to lift the fan and carefully slide this cable out. It helps to get your finger underneath to hold the cable against the fan and wiggle it, so basically like that. Alright, we'll set that aside. Where am I going to put all these components? There's so many. Alright. We got this little ribbon cable. This is for the power button and the volume buttons, so we'll flip that latch up, and then I'm going to use this little tool to kind of help pull it out. Just wiggle like this. There we go. Alright, what else do we got? Wireless antennas. So there's the white antenna. We're going to go underneath. You want to go under the tail. Okay, let me see if I can show this way. It's easier for me to work on. So you get under the tail, and then you kind of, I'm going to twist this tool and basically pop just the tail up, just like that. Alright, this one, there's another antenna here. It's a bigger antenna. It's a bit trickier to get to. We have to use like a little pointy tool. So we'll get under there, and same thing, pull up from the tail, and there we go. Okay, we already unlatched that. Okay, so we got one little black screw here. We got to remove that. Man, this is going to be hard to keep track of. How am I going to remember where all these screws came from? Got that one. We got this one over here. Okay, what else? We got another one in this corner. So the screws are at like the very outer edges or corners of the board. So I guess that's how we'll remember. Okay, you got another one down here at this edge of the board. Okay, and I think that's all the screws, unless they're hiding some somewhere. Oh, there's two more here holding the charge port. Don't forget those. We are removing that charge port after all. Okay. Alright, so now that we got all the screws out, we're gonna have to remove all these connectors. So this one is super tiny. I don't think I can do that with my fingernails. You're probably gonna need some good little needle nose pliers, but basically just grab the little connector there, and I'm just gonna kind of wiggle, basically slightly twisting it as I like back and forth as I pull down, and hopefully that should wiggle and slide out. Wow, this one's actually holding pretty strong. So I'm going to wiggle, and I'm using my finger to push the needle nose pliers, and there we go. That worked. Take note of the way this is plugged in. So you can see the cable has the exposed pins face up. Okay, so you want to make sure when you put the new speaker or reconnect the speaker, it's the same way. Alright, so this cable, there's a latch back here. We need to flip up. Okay. So there we go. I flipped that latch up with my fingernail. Again, you can use plastic pry tools if you want. And this one's going to be tough to get to because it's trapped between this raised portion where the battery is and then this. So kind of have to kind of get under there. And I'm going to wiggle with this tool and my fingernail and kind of just wiggle side to side. I can see the wings here, so you can kind of use the wings to kind of push left and right. Just switch from left to right, and you can see it's slowly walking its way out. There we go. Okay, and this seems like it's going to be a huge pain to put back together. Alright, we got this speaker connection as well. Same thing, grab the connector, and then kind of just wiggle. Oh, careful there. Make sure you got a good grip, wiggle. It helps to do more wiggling than to actually pull. Alright, so we're basically just wiggling the connector there. And slowly continue pulling as you wiggle. I think it will help more to pull with my finger down here at the connector itself. And there we go. Alright, and I'm pretty sure the speakers are held in with adhesive, so I'm not going to rip them up. Alright, same thing, the exposed metal pins were faced up. Alright, we got 2 more cables here that are latched in, so we're going to flip those latches. Let's see if I can show you with this tool here. So you can get underneath and then you can flip it up. Okay, usually I don't like using these because I can't feel as well, so I'm going to use my fingernail and flip that. There we go. Okay, we got these 2 cables. So again, this one I think is for the side rail to charge the thing. Let me actually zoom in a bit here. And we're going to use this to pull the wings. Just like that. There we go. And this one too. Okay, this one's more difficult. It doesn't want to come out. It's so small. Oh, I think someone's coming to look for me, so I gotta hurry up and get this out, and then gotta go help them. Alright, so we'll get that. Right, so we got both those cables out and everything else. I think we got all the connectors out. So let's zoom out here and see if we can pull this board up now. Very carefully lift. You gotta make sure all these cables end up coming out of the way. Okay, slowly, slowly. There's a lot of little cables and connectors here that are in the way, so yeah, let's see. It's getting caught somewhere, I think down here. So you gotta be very gentle. Oh yeah, this cable's also still plugged in, so we need to get this one out. Are there wings there? Yep. So there's wings on this connector as well. You can kind of use to push. Slowly but surely. Okay. Get that out. There we go. Now we can lift this up and we can get this out. Oh. Okay, so there we go. We got this board out. We're gonna have to use I'm gonna use a what do you call soldering hot air station to basically heat up this area and then pull this chip this piece up. All right, and hopefully we'll be able to do that without any issues. It looks like it's soldered down on the 4 corners and then that little piece. My worry is it's going to heat up the board a lot, and there's a lot of small components here, so I don't know. We'll see how well it holds up. I'm gonna have to use the thing that helps me hold the board in place, and yeah, so let me go get that set up and I'll be back. Alright, so we got this thing mounted. We're gonna start up my hot air station, and I'm basically gonna just be heating all around this and then be pulling it up as I heat it. So hopefully once it's hot enough, it will just let me pull this whole USB-C port out. Okay, so we're just gonna keep heating this, and you want to kind of warm the area around as well, just so all the heat isn't just concentrated on that one spot. Alright, and then we're just going to continue heating, and hopefully eventually we'll just be able to pull this thing up. And hopefully none of the other components will get damaged around it. If anyone has a better way to do this, let me know, but this is how I have to do it. Right, again, this is the first time I'm working on this, so trying to repair this issue. So we'll see. Hopefully it's gonna eventually just pop up. That liquid detection sticker is gonna get destroyed. Probably gonna catch fire. Looks like it's turning really brown. I wonder if I could have just peeled that up before starting this. Maybe I should have done that, but well, it's too late now. It's not moving at all. Maybe what I should do is I should put some solder here that's, well, actually, will that work? I don't know. We'll just keep heating it. Sometimes I can add like some solder that melts at a little bit lower temperature, and then it will mix together and will make it a little bit easier. Oh, it's not coming out at all. Let me put a little bit of that stuff. Actually, I'll use the solder paste. And I'll just put a little on there and see if that will help at all. Put some solder paste there. Okay. Let's continue heating this. See, this side's not really melting well. Okay, this is lifting up. There we go. Hopefully none of the pads got ripped or anything. Okay, so we got that up. I'm gonna have to use a solder iron to kind of clean up the little holes, make sure there's no solder left inside. Okay, I'm gonna toss that. So this is the old broken one. All right. And let's see here. They look okay. I don't think I need to add more solder, do I? Let's take a look at the replacement one. Okay, oops, I probably should have kept the broken one just in case to take a look. But let's go ahead and cut this open and see what the new port looks like. Okay. So this is what it comes like. And okay, so it comes like that. I'm gonna peel this thing off. And maybe I don't know if I can do this, because I think both sides need to be heated to get all those pins soldered in place. I don't think I can just solder one side, right? Okay, I might have to consult someone that's better at micro soldering to see if they can do that, because if I look at this board, oops, look how bad I burnt up that liquid detection sticker. I probably should have peeled that off before starting, but let's see, we can peel that off now. Okay. Yeah, I probably could have peeled it off and then put it back after, but too late now. All right, and I don't know if I can I just heat it from the bottom like that? Because if I could, then that would be the way to go. You'd basically put the solder paste stuff on all of these, and then as you heat it, it'll kind of flow into place on its own. I do need to clean out the little holes there, but yeah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think for both all the pins to work, we do need to solder it that way. So we'd probably have to heat it up and then let it fall into place. So we're definitely going to have to use the heat to do this. So let me see. I'm gonna try and keep heating it. I'm gonna put a little more of the solder stuff here. Just try and melt all that into place. Yeah, I might need to consult a better, more solder professional to do this kind of thing, because this isn't something I usually will do. But at least I got to the part of removing it. I'm gonna use a soldering iron and then melt it up, and I'm gonna also use the solder sucker to try and pull the extra solder out of here. So let me get that set up and then I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. Alright, I'm gonna try and clean this up a little bit, get all the ports kind of evened out. So let's go ahead and use the soldering iron and oops, give me a second, zoom in here. Okay, let's see here. So first we're going to clean this up. This up. I think they're looking for me again. Gotta make sure the pin on the side here isn't connecting to that, because it's trying to, the solder's trying to go over there. Alright, so we're gonna try and use the solder sucker. So I have this thing. Let me see if I can even show it. We're gonna go from the back, and then we're gonna try and, while heating it, pull the solder through, okay? So heat this up, and then, once it's hot enough, pull it through. I'm gonna try and do this on all four sides. Okay. Not enough. I might need to add a little more new solder to it so it melts a little bit easier. Okay. Try and add a little new solder to that. Okay. Then we'll try and pull it through. I'm working on it at a weird angle to try and show you guys this, but okay, there we go. Pull a bunch more through. Okay, looks good. Okay, let's put a little more solder on that. Try to pull this through. It's not going through. might have to, on some of these, rely on the heat from the hot air station to help pull it through. Let's see here. The front ports are coming out nicely. I don't know why this specific one on the back is having a hard time. Into a little more solder. That side doesn't want to come out. Let's see if I can go from the other side. Okay. Okay. Actually, both of these sides don't look too good. In terms of, there's a lot of solder still in there on both sides. So, try to go from here. Go. That one looks a lot better, and now this side. Yeah, there's like some stuff stuck there, so we're gonna have to add some new solder. That seems to have worked. Let's see if we can pull it out. Go. Okay. Alright, let's see if the new soldering port will even, or the new port will even fit. Okay. So this actually fits well on the front. The back is gonna take some heat to flow into it. So as we heat it, it should flow and then drop into place. And then we need to get these other ports all with some solder in them. Alright, we're gonna put some more solder here. Clean it up a little bit too. But okay, I don't know, all the things I see, they only solder one side, so I'm not sure. Try again. Clean up the pins. Okay. Let me use a little isopropyl alcohol to clean that up. Alright. Piece of paper towel. Roll it up. Let's try and clean this stuff off. Okay, it's actually getting a lot cleaner here. Okay, it's looking a lot better now. Okay, let's heat it up a little bit more and do it one more time. I think it should be good though. does look pretty good. Okay, I think that's good. I'll clean off the flux, and then we're gonna have to protect the port. So other places what I saw, they put some Kapton tape on the bottom of here, so they'll heat it from the bottom of the board, and then it'll slowly like drop into place, and then once they get it dropped into place, they know it's good. So we're gonna try doing that. Also, they do it at 380 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure how good the temperature sensor of my hot air station is, but hopefully it's good enough to get the job done. So we're gonna get this all cleaned up. Okay. So we got that all good. Let's double check the port fits in well. Okay, the front for sure fits in nicely. The back, okay, there's a little bit of stuff here, but that might be useful because then I'll know when it's melted enough that it plops into place. So maybe I'll just leave it like that. Let me take a closer look. Yeah. What else is it hitting there? So I think it's on this side. The flux or the solder is not completely out. I might have actually pushed some back in. So let me actually try and heat that and then pull that through again with the soldering iron, or the solder vacuum, solder sucker, whatever you want to call it. Want to heat this up again. We can pull the solder through this little hole area as well. Kinda not really. Okay, let's put a little solder in there again. Okay, pulled through on both sides. Let's try on this one as well. Okay. Let's try and pull that through. Okay, that looks good. Let's see now if this will go in nicely, or if it will still be raised up. Okay, it's a lot better. So as we heat it, I think it will go down, and then we should be good. So let me get this thing set up. Give me a second, because I think I have a customer here, and I'll be back. Alright, so I cut a couple pieces of Kapton tape, this stuff. This is basically high temperature electrical tape. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a couple layers. I already put one on there, but we're putting a couple layers on there. Okay, so now we're gonna drop this into place, and we're basically gonna heat this from the back, and heat it until this can sit flat. Okay, so we're gonna heat it to 380. It's gonna be tough for me to do this and show it on camera, but I'll see what I can do. Okay, so from the back, I'm gonna heat it, and whoa, got too much stuff here. So I'm gonna try and heat it from the back here if I can, and we're gonna push on this to try and get it to go flat. Okay, so basically heating from the back. Yeah, I don't know if I can show this part on camera because it's hard for me to do this, so I'm gonna work on this and I'll be back. But basically you get the idea. We're heating this from the back and pushing that into place. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, so we heated it and then it slowly flowed in. One way I did to kind of help with that is I put the solder paste on the sides here, so that way when I saw like it melted, then I knew that it was melting enough back here, and you can see it's already holding itself in place. We're gonna go ahead and peel this Kapton tape stuff off, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some solder to the four corners, and then all the pins we're gonna use the solder paste. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna line this back up, and we're gonna solder the four corners back in, and yeah. All right, so let's get zoomed in a bit, and hopefully that will get it working. All right, I'll have to test it with the dock, and we'll plug it in once we get it all reassembled. But yeah, for now, let's go ahead and get this in. Okay, oops, why am I using the solder paste right now? Okay, we're gonna use the solder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat up the pin here, and then while I'm heating that, I'm gonna push the solder onto it. And that should flow into the little hole and get that good. Alright, so I wanna make sure this is in all the way. So I'm gonna by hand push this down. You can probably should use pliers, but I'm gonna use my fingernails. Alright, so that's good. You can see solder's all flowed in there. Okay, I'm gonna get this corner. Okay, and the reason why you push the solder onto the heated piece is because it will melt the solder and the flux all together. Otherwise, you'll just burn the flux off if you put it onto the iron. Alright, so that looks good. I'm gonna check the back side as well, just to make sure. Alright, and you can see from the back, probably gonna need a little more solder on this side, on the back. I don't know if I can do it this way. Just hold it and hope I don't burn myself. Okay, I'm gonna solder both sides here. Yeah, normally you don't solder the back side, but I'm doing it anyways. All right, so. All right, there's a lot of flux and stuff back there. Yeah, normally you just solder from the other side, but I'm gonna solder there. I do need to clean that up because it looks like there's some flux that's stuck there that's burnt. So I'm gonna get another piece of paper towel again. Get some isopropyl alcohol on it. Sorry if I'm going out of view. And we're just gonna clean that up a little on the back. Oh, maybe it's burnt there. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get the solder to the other corners. And then we're gonna have to reassemble this whole thing once we get all the pins and stuff in place, okay? All right, so we're gonna now solder the other two back corners. Jeez, what's happening over there? Let me clean off my soldering iron. Okay, heat that up. We do have some of the solder paste still there, so I'm going to push that in. It's hard to get the solder in there. I need a smaller soldering tip, and also trying to record this, it's kind of in my way, so I don't know, I might have to do this off camera as well. Okay, I think that got in. Yep. Alright. Alright, this side, I don't know if my soldering iron is small enough to fit in there, so what am I going to do with that? Let me see if I have another soldering tip to use here. Yeah, I'll be back. Alright, so I've got a much smaller tip on here. I'm not sure how well it's going to heat up the solder here to get it into place, but we'll see. Alright, it is what it is. If we can't get it in, then I don't know. Alright, so we've got this more fine tip. And we're going to try and get that soldered in. Okay, looks like it's melting it, so we should be good. Just got to get the solder down there. Good. Alright. Get the solder to flow down there. Alright, let's take a look. Looks good. Alright, let's try and get some solder onto the back of this part, the one that's looks all burnt and crusty. Looks good. And this one. Okay, this is gonna need more solder. Okay, looks good. Now we just got to get the little pins all soldered up and we should be good to go. So I'm going to see if I can hold it this way so I can work on it from this side. I'm going to put the solder paste on there. Alright, actually it needs to tilt downwards. Okay. Let's see if we can solder that in. Okay. I think we have too much solder there now. So I gotta make sure now that each pin is separate and not sticking together. Okay. Clean off the flux or the solder there. Put too much, that was a bad idea. Okay. Let me add some flux there to help it. I don't have the liquid flux, I have like some paste stuff. We'll see if this works. Okay. Get that in there. That's a lot. Okay, blow the solder. Clean off the soldering iron so we don't add more. Alright, let's heat this up. Make sure all the pins are separated. Okay. Clean it up, take a look at it, and then we'll see. So we're going to use some paper towel with some isopropyl alcohol and clean that up. Okay. Clean that off. Okay, let me take a close look. For the most part, it looks good. I'm going to heat it up a little bit more and then clean it one more time. Okay. You can also use a toothbrush to help clean it a little bit. Look. For the most part, it looks good. I think some of the pins might be a little bit stuck together, so let me try and clean it one more time. Okay, let's take another close look. The pins at the end look like they might be kind of stuck together. Okay, I think we're good there. So now that we got that, let's go ahead, let's take a closer look here. Oops, where are we going here? Focus. All right, so yeah, why did it do that? Okay, I think it's good. I'm gonna clean it a little more and then we'll be good. All right, so just gonna use the toothbrush and the isopropyl alcohol a little more. Oh, I have a customer here. All the pins do look separate, so we should be good. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of isopropyl alcohol into there and then brush it. Okay, there we go, and just brush that all clean, get any of the remaining flux residue between the pins off. And then we just gotta reassemble this thing and hope that we got a good repair. Alright, so there you go. That's what it looks like. You can see some of the plastic kind of melted. But it is what it is. Oh, I think we do need to melt this one a little bit more. So let me do that real quick. Oh, I think my customer's here. Give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, so here it is. I soldered it better and I think it's good. There's, I don't know, there's some little dots in there. Is it connected there? Let me maybe try cleaning it up a little bit more. Alright, well, that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. Hopefully it's good. I don't know if that one pin is that connected? I don't know. Maybe I need to heat that more, but look, the plastic's getting all melted, so I don't know. Alright, give me a bit. Alright, I think that's the best I'm going to get it before I end up like melting the whole thing, so let's go ahead and put it back together. Alright, we're back. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing reassembled. So, we're just going to get all lined back up. The problem is all these cables are very difficult to make sure they stay up on top before you go ahead and put this down. Okay, so got this cable. I'm going to use that. Use a little plastic tool. You gotta make sure every single cable ends up back on top. So anything that's kind of going, you might have to push it out of the way. Okay, so we got those two here. Okay, got this guy. Let's go on top. Alright, we got this one. What else we got? We got this cable here. Alright, and we got the other speaker cable here. Okay, slowly work our way over. Make sure everything's lined up. Get this bottom part in. Okay. What is it hitting? Oh, it's hitting the plastic there. So we have to actually go at an angle like this. So you do have to lift the board at an angle to get this part in first. So make sure all these cables are on top. And we're going to slowly lower it down. We got to make sure this white antenna goes back on top. Hopefully it's routing the right way, because I don't remember how they were routed, if they were going around or not. Okay, cable here. And why doesn't it want to fall down? Something's preventing it from going down. Oh, is it the wireless antenna? I guess this wireless antenna, you need to make sure it goes under and then there. Okay. And then this piece on top. This one on top. Yeah, it's getting caught by something. Something's preventing it from going all the way down. Let's take a look here. Oh, is it the wing of this connector? Yeah. Make sure this connector gets out of the way. There we go. Okay. And let's see now. We gotta get all these little connectors back in, so make sure this latches up. Pull that back. Get that in. Oh, this is tough. Gotta pull it back enough that it can go in. Okay, make sure, and then we're gonna, oops, sorry, my head's in the way. And then you pull the wings back in, make sure it's all the way flush. Okay, I need to use a new one. That's all bent it up. Make sure to pull that in all the way. Alright, slide your finger over to latch that down. Good. Let's actually put in all those little screws. Okay, so we had this one here in this corner. Yeah, even getting these screws back in is a pain. Maybe I have to use a smaller screwdriver. Let me try. I'm going to try using a PH 000. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, I think the screwdriver was a little bit too big. Yeah. Okay, that helps a lot. I was using the wrong. Alright, so we get that one. Then we'll get this one up here. We'll get this one over here. And we'll get this one over here. Okay. And usually what people do is they just connect, I think, the screen cable. I don't know if this cable's needed, but we'll get that one in as well. Okay, wireless antenna here, so you gotta line that up. I'm gonna use some little tweezers to help with this. Man, this is difficult. Okay, make sure it's in, and then just click it down. There we go. Alright, we have the other antenna here. That lined up. If my head gets in the way, I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, we have this, the card reader. We're gonna get that connected first, so get that lined up. Get the wings into place. Okay, and then while it's in, slide your finger over the latch to latch it down. Perfect. We'll drop that in. Okay, we can go ahead and click this back into place. You do have to kind of pull it back some because it doesn't line up right on its own. There we go. Make sure that's in all the way. Perfect. One screw was holding that one in. Let's hold that down. Get that screw in. Hopefully I'm getting everything in view as I do it. Okay, we got the connector here for the power button and volume buttons and stuff. Get that in. Push that all the way. Okay, and then slide your finger over the latch. Perfect. Alright, we're going to get the fan in. Make sure this is pulled up. And, well, oh, oops, the fan needs to go on top of this one, so, or underneath, so we got to take this back out. Sorry. Pull that back up. Alright, so we're going to get the fan in. And make sure the connector goes in. Make sure that latch stays up. Okay. And then slide your finger over to latch it down. Alright, let's get the fan screws back in. Alright, that on. This one. Uh-oh, they're looking for me. Right, so we got the two fan screws and the one that goes underneath this board. Might have to stop the recording in a bit and then come back. Alright, so get those three fan screws in. Then we got this. Line this up. It's annoying that they do this one after because it's hard to line it up after when you can't really see. But I think that's in. Okay, should be good. Then we'll get that screw here, right here. Okay, what else do we got? We got the heat sink here, so we're gonna have to put some new thermal paste. I have icy diamond. I'm just gonna put some there, and you kind of want to check where the dye is. Okay, so you can actually see the square outline a little bit. So we're gonna put some here. You don't need a crazy amount. It's a small CPU, GPU die. Okay, just like that. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. All right, we got the heatsink piece we need to get back in. Let's zoom out here. Okay, so get the fan, the heatsink part up here lined up and dropped in first. Is it gonna line up? Do I need to loosen the fan? Okay, I do need to loosen these fan screws because it's not quite lined up right, it seems. You can see it kind of can move a little bit. So we're gonna get this in. Okay. And make sure this ends up on top, out of the way. Okay, we can now go ahead and tighten the fan screws back down. Alright, we got these. So I'm going to loosely fit this first. These heatsink screws aren't numbered like a lot of other heat sinks are, so keep that in mind. I'm just loosely fitting them first. I'm going to get this one, and let's go ahead and tighten this one down first, and then we'll tighten this one, and then we'll tighten this one. Alright, and these are pretty much like spring loaded kind of, and it's slowly, continuously putting pressure on there. Okay, we're gonna have to get the speaker cable back in. This is really tough because how the speaker wires are so like springy. I'm gonna have to use the needle nose pliers to help. Oh, that was a little risky. Alright, and then we're going to push that in. There we go, it clicked in. We got to get in the other speaker cable here as well. Get that lined up. It helps to use needle nose pliers, it seems, for this. Yeah, this is kind of a pain. Come on. Difficult. Come on. Get in there. Wow, this is so tough. Come on. Line up. Line up and get in. Doesn't want to go in. Oops, am I going out of view? I have to go to my appointment before I finish this. I don't know if I'm gonna have time. Okay, there we go. Come on. There we go. We got this little cable. And okay, pull the wings. Alright, and then latch that down. If you damage these, then your remote, what are they called? The nunchucks or whatever, they're not going to work. Okay, so be very careful and gentle with these. Right, and this one. Alright, there we go. Slide that latch down. This cable. And this one's weird because they kind of like made it rotate weird to get it in there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to my appointment and then finish this. So, but let's see, we're almost there. Okay. Slightly out, this one slightly in. It's weird how this cable's like angled like that. Okay, put that in. Alright, or that. What else do we got? Should this speaker wire go underneath? Maybe? I think so. Oops, sorry. I think the speaker wire is supposed to go underneath this thing. That's why they have that thermal stuff. But it's a pain. Okay, pull that plastic sheet on top. There we go. Okay, what else do we got? We got all the back screws and everything. Let's go ahead and reconnect the battery here. And then I'm gonna plug in, I have a MacBook cable. I don't know if the switch will charge with that, but let's plug it in and see. Right now we don't have the SD card. Oh, and there we go. You see that? We got power. So we're gonna have to let that charge for a while, but I think we should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and finish reassembling this. What time is it? 2:33. Okay, I have a little time. I'm gonna try and finish this real quick, and then we should be good to go. Let's get the metal plate back on here. Hopefully we got everything. Ooh, make sure you got everything reconnected. I think we got everything reconnected. So let's go ahead and get this plate back on. There might be a chance that the battery is dead on this because it's been sitting so long uncharged. So keep that in mind as well, okay? Let's see, we have all these little silver screws we gotta put back. Oh, don't forget to put back this black plastic piece here. Okay, and you can actually put these screws after you get the metal plate back on, but I'm gonna put this first. Okay, I loosely fit it. And this one. Alright, we'll tighten this down. Alright, and then we'll be back. I'm gonna put this on the dock once we get it all reassembled. We'll be back and we'll see what the progress is, okay? So we'll get this all lined up. And I'm gonna get these screws in. This one here. I'm loosely fitting them first before I tighten them all the way down, just to make sure everything lines up. Okay. This screw here. This screw here. This screw. Oops, sorry, am I going out of view again? This screw here. And this last screw here. Alright, tighten them all down now. Uh-oh, this thing is hitting here. So there's a little alignment plastic there. Okay, make sure that goes in. I had to undo the screw to get it lined up and then push it down. That screw in. This middle screw in. Alright, and the last screw up here in. Alright, now that we got all of that in, we gotta get the little micro SD card slot thing back in. This one's a little tricky because you gotta get this all lined up and then clicked in. So, let's see, how do I know if it's, okay, I think that's actually in. Alright, good. Otherwise, if the micro SD card slot doesn't work, you know where to look. Right there. Wait, what is, we're missing the one screw, or, oh, I put the screw in already. Whoops, my bad. Get that screw in. Did I take out two screws that I didn't put back? I think there's two screws that I forgot. That, those two, that, and this. There's two screws that I forgot to put back somewhere. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna have to rewatch my video. I'll be back. Okay, I know what screws I forgot. Oh man, that means I'm gonna have to take most of this back out. The screws I forgot are the ones that go where the charge port are. I think I'm running out of time though. I don't know if I'll be able to get this done in time. Okay. And technically I don't have to take it all the way out. Well, actually I do have to take this metal plate off. Okay, let's get this piece off. Come on, undo. There we go. Lift this back out. Oh, forgot the middle one. Alright, lift that up. Okay, and we'll get these two charge port screws back in. Almost forgot. I mean, I did forget them, but almost forgot completely to put them back. And then imagine the charge port breaks again just because of that. That would have sucked really bad. Alright, we're gonna got more of that pasty stuff here, so I'm gonna put that back on top again. Alright, get this all reassembled again. Yeah, I'm gonna be late for my appointment. Hopefully I won't it won't get canceled. I'm gonna have to probably just stop after this. Okay. Get all these screws back in. We're almost done. Oh. Oops, put that back again. You gotta make sure to get the SD card slot thing back in first. Marched in. Oh. Okay, make sure that's in. Oops, sorry. Okay, should be good. Screw back in. Okay, let's get the back plate on. Line everything up. Okay. The screw on top back in. Alright, get the screw that was under here back in. Get the bottom screw back in. The other bottom screw back in. And then we're just going to let it sit on the charger overnight and it should be good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the last few screws in and we should be good to go. Alright, that one, this one, and the 4 Y000 screws, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, again, it would help a lot if you can watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Again, thanks for watching. Yeah, and I'll see you on the next one. I just gotta get these last few screws in and we're good to go. Oh yeah, I'll also show you guys obviously that it's gonna turn on afterwards, but I do need to charge it up for quite some time before it'll allow that to happen. So let me get that all screwed in and there, got it all reassembled. Alright, I'll see you guys once it's charged up. Let's drop this. Alright, and here it is. As you can see, it's working now. So it's good. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.